So this is the first of many videos I'm going to create. I had this dream that I wanted to create videos that did three things. So my first goal is kind of telling my story about how I came to be in the state I'm living in, stories that have happened in my life, and then also the projection of future of where I want my life to go. I used to do stuff like this when I traveled back in the day, which is something I'm going to get into and talk about a little bit because it's interesting. Travel videos to me are something that I consume on content constantly, and I also like to learn. So the four fundamental things that I'm planning on doing is, one, I'm going to kind of document the area around here. Right now, I live a pretty simple life, and the next 2 years, my plan is to move out of country from the United States to the Philippines with my best friend. And her and I have been planning that for about a year now. Another thing that I really want to do is I want to interview some of the interesting people I've met in this area. And there's plenty. There's so many fascinating characters in this city that I think their life stories could be worth listening to. And then lastly, I want to start getting more involved with talking to local scientists, specifically biologists, who take me out into the surrounding areas around here and kind of show me different animals and things like that. So it's a little bit all over the place, but it'll be a combination of kind of like a vlog and doing interviews and then doing kind of informational videos, like educational, I guess. So yeah, I mean, these are the fundamental things I want to do. So I guess from here, all I can do is get into this first kind of episode where I talk a little bit about my life, and what I'm hoping to do by the end of this is kind of build an infrastructure and community of people who kind of share their experiences and, get curious. I think that there's not enough curiosity in the world, and I'm a very curious person myself, and I've had a lot of pretty wild experiences, and as I work on a book writing about this, I thought it would be kind of cool to start like a vlog and talk about those aspects, almost like I'm interviewing myself in a sense. And some of the stories I think people can get a lot out of. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be awkward for me for the first at least 20 videos, but this is something I've set my mind on, and I think making goals in life are pretty damn important. And I kind of also want to document what it's like to go from being a professional musician to not even owning an instrument anymore, and kind of that journey of how I had to rediscover who I was as a person, especially when you tie your identity to something that you're doing in your life. You let a lot of things slip by that you don't notice, like character flaws or things that you're doing that just, I don't know, hurt your family, hurt your friends, bad decisions you make along the way. And so kind of like self-reflection, I guess. And also, I can show you guys some beautiful environments around here if you look. There's this, actually, let's go for a little walk, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. I'm gonna just step up for a second because I had looked up what these burrows were, and I'm not sure. And as I walked away, I saw a puff of dirt, and from what I've read, there's a possibility that it might be an underground nest of some sort, and I want to avoid that. But I'll show you really quick, and then we'll get back to it. So yeah, check all these things out. So there's these little burrows. Something tells me, I don't know, could be a ground bee nest. I'm not really sure, but they actually go all the way down there. And look at them. There's so many of them. And they're everywhere. I don't know, that's probably a snake, but they're just everywhere. It's so weird. And I would go down to the river, but to be honest with you, those holes are freaking me out. And I don't know what they are. And if they are ground bees, because I had to look it up, it said that it could be a possibility that they're a type of ground bee. Why any part of that shit? Or it could have been crayfish, but I think this far from the water, I don't think crayfish would burrow this high up, but maybe I'm wrong. And there's hundreds of them. So I didn't even show you the extent of all of them. So I just don't want to take a chance. I've had a scuff with a ground bee before, and one of them stinging you is bad enough. So I prefer not to get stung by a lot of them. As I was walking by, there was like one of the holes had like a puff of dirt, and I was like, whoa, dude, what in the alien is this? I'm getting the fuck out of here. And sure enough, yeah, I'm now here safely on the side of the road here, which yeah. And also, I think another kind of goal of mine is to slowly increase the quality. So if the quality's not great, stick with me. I got a new mic coming, so even my second video is going to be a little bit better than this one. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. If it seems like something that you'd be interested in, hit the like. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about this area. And if a channel like that is fascinating, I think, 2 years from now when I look back at this video, I'll be like, what the hell was I thinking? In terms of like just what I'm doing right now. It's kind of silly. But I hope that with time, I can get better at doing this and create something of value. So I'm gonna end up talking to some of these professionals who go out and do field research, and then kind of going along with them. One of my influences in life, just because I've ever since I was a child, I've loved animals like passionately. They're just so fascinating. Even the kind of creepy ones like spiders and stuff like that. Centipedes, it's kind of my Indiana Jones moment. They're my snakes. But yeah, giant centipedes, not a fan. So kind of learning about these things through like Brave Wilderness is a really good example of a great channel. Planet Earth was a really good BBC series, and really any of the BBC series that had to do with animals was super fascinating. So there's that aspect of kind of my interests that I'd like to explore and kind of get into a little bit deeper and bring people along for that journey, because it could be fun. I don't know. I'm gonna do it. And then my other plan is to interview people that I've met here in the city I'm living in, from musicians to former military men or women, people with interesting life stories, local business owners who have like an interesting arc, just people who have led pretty exceptional and interesting lives, but at the end come down to like this more mundane, simple life, like, which I think is realistic. Like, most of us aren't out doing what a lot of these YouTubers do. Most of us aren't traveling or even leaving our city most of the time. And I kind of want to give, like, I guess if I could have a mission statement, right, about what my intentions are with this channel, it's to provide an authentic expression of my life and other people's lives, and not try to sugarcoat it and romanticize it and make it something it's really not. Because I think it's important that, especially with like all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, and I mean, we don't really need to get into that, but there's a lot going on for everyone, for people of all walks of life. And I think having an opportunity to be a creator who makes something that's honest, and not like trying to pretend like, I got wealth or any of this nonsense, it's going to provide a lot more for it. I mean, maybe just me initially, but I hope it provides for other people, including you who's watching right now. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with just kind of telling you guys about who I am. And then from there, I'll learn and grow on how to make content that's more fascinating and get a little more creative with it. So yeah, I hope you guys are along for the journey. It's going to be a long trek. I think anything that's worth doing takes a lot of effort and takes thoughtfulness in its execution. because if you just go into something saying like, oh, I'm doing this so I can get famous or so I can make money, I got a job. It's not a great job. I don't love it, right? But I got a job, and it helps take care of me and the people I care about. This isn't what that is. I'm not looking to replace anything. I'm looking to just add to the world, because I think, and this is a little idealistic, but I think a lot of people just are more concerned about taking and what they can give to themselves. I would like to give back to strangers, as strangers have given to me, and kind of that circle of life kind of deal, right? I don't know. But yeah, so that's where we are. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just start off with that. And my first episode, like my first true episode of where I do like an actual like vlog where I'm talking about, I think the best point to start at is to start out with my own life, because that way I can provide you all with a foundation for like, who is this person? Why should I listen to him? Why is this interesting, kind of thing? And I'll provide that context and give you an example of my life, the trials and tribulations of, you know, everything that's happened. So hopefully, if I do this right, and I think I can, that it'll provide some quality of life or some inspiration to other people out there who feel kind of like they're stuck in this circle of just pay bills, go home, work, sleep, you know, whatever. So hopefully I can do that. And I think I can. I'm very confident. Whether or not it becomes anything bigger than two people or a single person, doesn't really matter to me. If I can make a difference in one other person's life and form some sort of kind of sense of, I don't know, I guess like, what's the word for it? Like a bond, you know, with people of where it's like, oh yeah, I like listening to this dude's channel. He does some interesting shit. He talks to some interesting people. That'd be cool. You know, I'm gonna leave out all the other stuff that's out there, because there's enough of that out there, especially if you're going on TikTok or Facebook. It's like, this is happening in the world, the doom and gloom. You know, just to create something that I hope will provide something. Yeah, and also I can show you guys my e-bike and kind of how I maintain it. We can talk about that, but that will be such a little part about it, because as soon as I leave the country, this bad boy's, I'm giving it to my friend, a very close friend of mine, who hopefully I can set up an interview with soon, and have that kind of as a episodic interview where I'll chop it up and have his life story, because he's a very fascinating person. He to give you a little background about him, he was basically born to be a musician, and he went through a lot of struggles in his life, and I think to this day he still does, but he is honestly one of the most incredible guitar players I've ever met in my life. And as being a guitar player myself and getting into the professional field of playing music, doing tours, and signing to an independent label when I was just basically a kid, you know, meeting this guy and kind of having him reignite that passion of music back into me was something else. And he's a very, I guess, idealistic person, but in all the best of ways. You get him to talk long enough, you know, he says some things that are quite fascinating, especially when you keep it on the topic of music. And kind of show you guys some of the beautiful places around this area, because there's so many. You know, I grew up in Wisconsin, so I'm used to winter, but since I've moved to the south, no winter down here, which I don't know what I feel about. I like the winter, but here I am.